Imagine awakening to an all-encompassing white light. You find yourself in a realm of radiant brightness, the likes of which you've never seen before. The sleepiness of an eternal slumber lifts gradually as you open your eyes to this luminescent world, a world that feels uncannily familiar, as comforting as a childhood home. As the fog of sleep dissipates, you find yourself standing amidst a gathering of familiar faces, faces you've known, loved, and missed. It's a reunion of sorts, a gathering of lifetimes. Your entire existence, the good and the bad, the victories and the losses, the love and the heartbreak, it all plays out before your eyes like a cinematic masterpiece. The narrative of your life, in all its chaotic beauty, finally falls into place, and for the first time, it all makes sense. The guilt, the regret, the unresolved issues, they all seem to melt away in this light. It feels as if a heavy burden has been lifted off your shoulders. But just as you start to make peace with this new reality, the memories start to fade, like the remnants of a dream slipping away with the break of dawn. Suddenly, you hear a voice so familiar, it sends shivers down your spine. It's a voice filled with warmth and love, a voice that resonates with an unspoken truth. It says, "We're happy you're here. We missed you, but you can't stay." Startled, you try to process these words. You've just arrived, just started to make sense of this surreal existence, and now you're being told to leave. The voice continues, "They need you, but we'll see you again when the time is right." You're left with a strange feeling of certainty and knowing that the voice speaks the truth. Just as you start to get comfortable, you hear a familiar voice. A voice echoes, a voice that feels like home. Amidst the blinding radiance and the comforting warmth, this voice resonates, familiar and soothing. It's a voice that carries with it a sense of belonging, a voice that whispers tales of a time long past. This voice, it begins to speak. "We're happy you're here. We missed you." The words wash over you, a comforting balm to your startled senses. You're home, you're where you belong. The relief is palpable, the joy overwhelming. "But you can't stay." The words hit like a punch to the gut. Confusion sets in. "You just got here. This is your home. How can you not stay?" The voice continues. "They need you, but we'll see you again when the time is right." The words, though cryptic, hold a ring of truth. A truth that you can't comprehend just yet, but you trust it because it's a voice that feels like home. A flurry of questions whirl around in your mind. Who needs you? Why do you have to go back? Back to where? But before you can voice your questions, before you can voice your fear, the voice speaks again. Its tone soothing as ever, but this time there's an urgency in it. An urgency that fills the air, that fills your being. "Remember," it says, "every moment, every experience, every joy, every sorrow, they all matter. They all have a purpose, and so do you." The words sink in, seep into your consciousness. You feel a sense of purpose, a sense of resolve. You don't know what lies ahead, but you are ready, ready to face it, ready to embrace it. In the silence that follows, you feel a strange sense of calm, a strange sense of acceptance. You take a deep breath, take in the warmth, the familiarity of this place, this home. You close your eyes, ready to face whatever comes next. Then, without warning, a searing pain engulfs you. Suddenly, you're ripped back into reality, your body writhing in pain. It's as though you're being violently yanked from a peaceful slumber, thrust into a world of blinding lights and deafening noises. Did you ever imagine what it feels like when every cell in your body screams in agony, like being consumed by a fire so fierce that it sears your very soul? That's precisely what you're experiencing now. The pain is so intense that you can't breathe. It's suffocating, consuming you whole, leaving you gasping for air. And then, the scream, a sound so raw and primal that it could come from no other creature but one in the throes of unimaginable torment. It takes a moment for you to realize that the scream is yours. It's a scream that echoes through the sterile hospital corridors, bouncing off the cold, lifeless walls, and piercing the silence like a hot knife through butter. Suddenly, you're aware of your surroundings. You're lying on a hospital bed, your body draped in a thin, rough hospital gown. There are tubes and wires attached to your body, snaking their way to ominous-looking machines that beep and whir with a life of their own. Around you, there's a flurry of activity. Doctors and nurses, dressed in their crisp white uniforms, move with a sense of urgency that's almost palpable. But then, they stop. There's a collective gasp, a momentary pause that hangs heavily in the air. Their eyes, wide with shock and disbelief, are all trained on you. You can see the questions in their eyes, the fear, the awe, but most of all the disbelief. They've witnessed something that defies all logic, all reason. They've seen a miracle. And then it hits you. You were dead. You had crossed over to the other side, and yet here you are, back in the land of the living. You've just made a journey that few have made and lived to tell the tale. You're back from the dead. With a second chance at life, you hold a secret few others know. You've traveled to the edge of existence, peered into the abyss, and returned with a tale that defies understanding. Your journey was terrifying, confusing, and yet strangely comforting. The other side was not as you expected, not a place of eternal rest, but a crossroad, a checkpoint between the realms of the living and the departed. The memories of that place are fading, but the lessons remain. You've learned that life is not a singular journey, but a series of interconnected moments that weave together to form the tapestry of our existence. You've learned that every action, every decision, carries weight far beyond our mortal comprehension. This experience has left you with a profound sense of purpose and a warning. Our lives are not just our own, but threads in a larger cosmic tapestry, and our actions ripple through the universe. You've seen what's on the other side, and you have a warning to share.